Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, the Droodles Blitz, and in today's video I'll be playing in the Type 63, a Tier 10 Japanese collector heavy. A vehicle that is incredibly overpowered. I just finished my live stream and we managed to put in 21 battles, just around 80% win rate, with 3,158 average damage. That is crazy levels of average damage. It's in fact more than my Vickers Light in Tier 10 right now. That's pretty wild. But it definitely shows the Type 63 is not a vehicle to be messed with. It has 12 degrees of gun depression, a turret that is basically impossible when using gun depression for any even Tier 9s to cut through. It has insane levels of premium pen, 283 millimeters of AP premium, and it only loses like 20 damage per shot when loading gold. You add all these things together, it's an insane vehicle. It is super mobile. It has great values all across the board. And because of that, I was able to get a truly wild battle. I'm not going to spoil it for people that were on the stream. Some of you may have seen this game, but for those of you that weren't, you're about to watch what the Type 63 is able to do when using a little bit of skill and a lot of flexibility. So, if we take a look at the enemy lineup, we have a 53 TP, an Emil 1, a Keeler. Those are all pretty dangerous tanks, right? Then they also have some mediums and some other stuff. I don't really care too much about mediums when I'm in a heavy. The most important thing for me to do in a heavy is figure out what heavies and tank destroyers I'm going to be running into, and where I want to drive my tank. Now, because this vehicle has great turret armor, this here is a perfect spot for me to hide my hull and only show the turret. So we get a 284 damage shot into the ISU once. We're going to reload, and boom, another shell into the ISU. Obviously, out of all the tanks on the enemy lineup, the ISU is the first that I need to get out. And the reason why is because that tank has 3,000 DPM, 640 alpha, and the highest pen, like, in the tier. I don't want that. Nobody wants that aiming at them. So because of that, we've already bled that player half their health. Now we aim it on the Emil. Damn. This gun's a little bit goofy on its accuracy. But you know what's not goofy? This spot. Because this vehicle has 12 degrees of gun depression, we are able to work the Type 63 in this position here. Look at what the enemy sees from this angle, right? Let's pretend we're, this ISU or something down here. This is what they see. Look at that. That is so broken. There's nothing they can do to counter me from this spot. I'm completely hull down. I have a turret, as I said, that is not able to be penned, and they can't get to me either. I have teammates behind me. This is a truly overpowered spot. So there you go, 640 bounce from the ISU. That's our first bounce of the game. Oh, there you go, a bounce from the Emil. However, there is somebody on our side, and it doesn't matter how good this spot is. The moment something is on my side, I need to back off. I don't want to get bled 400 health over and over and over by a T-34 too. So I was thinking, yeah, probably not the best play to continue poking that. Now, the enemy 53 TP is still somehow alive. Our Jagdpanther 2 is AFK, so that's not great. We're going to aim it on the AMX. There you go. Nice shot for 335 into the track wheel, but yeah, this isn't looking great. Because we have an AFK, right now it's a 4 versus 6. I'm going to aim it on the... that sucks. That really, really sucks. If that had penned, it would have lowered that player enough that I would have been at least somewhat confident to take them out. But the 53 is showing me his track wheel, so we get a nice pen into that player. It's an awful roll, but it shouldn't matter. As long as our Skoda manages to pen the shot, that tank is still going to be taken out of the game. Alright, we're going to aim it on the AMX. There you go. Nice 304. We're up to 2,700 damage now. And again, this isn't good. Our Jagdpanther is now a one-shot. We have the 53 TP right over here. We're going to aim it on that 53. Another low roll. If we didn't low roll those 2 shots on the 53, that player would be dead right now. That would be really nice, but nope, they're still alive. But we have the AMX Defender over here. Oh man, that gun elevation. The one real big downside of this vehicle is the 6 degrees of gun elevation. It's not very common you're going to run into an issue with it, but when you do, ooh, it was a little bit sus there aiming in on that AMX. So right now it is a 2 versus 6. Yes, you heard that correct. A 2 versus 6. We're going to get a shell into the enemy T-34-2. We're going to angle the vehicle, and the 34-2 does not get that pen into us. We have the AMX Defender, which we get a clear into. Okay, now it's a 2 versus 5. That's obviously really good. All right, we're going to reload again. We have the Keeler. We got the T-34-2. All right, let's aim it on the T-34. Boom. Easy shot. That brings that player down to a one-shot, and our Skoda gets the clear. Now it is a 2 versus 4. Shkoda's been doing all right. I will say Shkoda has been a somewhat helpful teammate. We get a nice shell into the Emil, but somehow the Emil hits us back. I don't even know where. Must have got like the slight corner of my hull. But that's not good. Any health bled at this point is going to be really bad for me. But we get the pen into the enemy Keeler. Our Shkoda has a shot. The Keeler bounces. And the Shkoda doesn't shoot him. Brah. And there you go. Now the Shkoda dies. It's a 1 versus 4. We get the pen into the Emil, but I have 3 tanks on me. The 53 somehow misses the shot. I'm now going to push forward using the great mobility this vehicle has, get the clear into that player. The Emil is on a clip reload right now, so I can ignore the Emil, but the problem is I have 1,000 health right now. And if I get shot by this Keeler, whew, we get the clear. If I got shot by that Keeler, it would have made me a clip for the Emil, and that player could have just YOLO'd me. But thankfully, now that I have 1,011 health, it means that the Emil cannot kill me, and just like that, we get a bounce on our side, and now we are up to 5,500 damage, 1,800 blocked, and the Emil can no longer kill me. So the Emil only has 1 more shot, and because the Emil backed up, this is a perfect area for me, because I can hide my weak hull, and I can use my turret armor in this position. Now, I was hoping we could get the snap into that Emil, but I was not able to. But we're going to drive over the ridgeline. The Emil is now on a full clip reload. That player is out of shells. So we have a one-shot Emil, a one-shot T95E2. The T95E2 overpokes their hull. I get an easy shot right into their lower plate. And now we have to clear the Emil. I have 394 health. The Emil could potentially one-shot me if they got a max roll, but I highly doubt that's going to be the case. We roll around the corner, load a premium shell into their lower plate. Just like that, we get a 5-kill, 1 versus 4, 6,200 damage victory. What an absolutely crazy game. This was not a battle I expected to win in any world, let alone this world. Yeah, what a crazy game. I cannot believe that. But I'm not going to complain. Still, a just ridiculous battle. Now, this one is on Dynasty's Pearl, and it is literally the game right after the one we just played. So, right, we just had the super crazy 6,000 damage carry. Now we're on Dynasty, and this, I swear, happens every single time I get a crazy win. Let me know if you guys have this situation too. But I swear, every time I get a crazy victory, the next battle, Wargaming tries their hardest to give me the worst possible team so that I cannot win. They're like, oh, you had a good win? Now lose. But either way, we're going to move up here. You can see that great mobility once again of the Type 63. This tank legitimately has some of the best mobility I've ever seen for a Tier 8 heavy. I mean, yeah, there are some lightly armored heavies that are fast. A good example is the AMX 5100. But this tank is not lightly armored. Like, this thing goes 44 kilometers per hour, and it has a power-to-weight ratio similar to mediums. It's crazy. I love the mobility on this tank, and that's really what does allow this vehicle to be fun. I mean, it's not just the mobility, it's the fact that I can cut through a Tier 9 turret with premium. That's also just crazy. So, our standard B is now YOLOing, which, to be fair, itself wouldn't be an awful play. The awful play is that the standard B not only bounces the first shot, but then sits in the open, and, well, you'll see what happens. I'm going to aim it on the Kampfpanzer. There you go, another easy shot. Oh yeah, you're doing great, Standard. It's really challenging to pen the hull of a Kampfpanzer, and 1,100 damage ammo rack. That's a bad start to this game. We're already down a full health Tier 9. Oh great, our M6 Experimentals, oh boy. Well, I do get the clear into the Kampfpanzer, but we are now down an M6 Experimental as well. So we're down 2 tanks. The enemy team's down 1 tank. That's not a great start. I do aim it on the Brask, and I get a pen, but there's only so much I can do. I back up, the Brask ends up bouncing me. Okay, that's pretty good. We're going to reverse and see if we can get a shell into somebody over here. We have the 50 TP in front of us, aiming on the lower plate. Nice, 270 damage. All right, up to 1,900 now. This game is not over, though. We still have 5 tanks left, which isn't awful. We still have a few Tier 9s. We have a Tiger Mouse, right? We got a lot of vehicles. So I'm going to move over here. We can see the enemy Emil 1 is rolling up. By the way, look at this thing's premium. You can actually cut through an Emil turret. That's just so good. But the Emil obviously tries to push me here and makes a really bad play because now that player is not too healthy. I was hoping I could shoot the Brask, but I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'm just going to aim it on the Emil. And there you go. Get an easy pen into the hull. Okay. Well, we have the Hawk 12 in front of us. And at this point, I'm just trying to think of what's the best play. Hawk actually gets a pen into me, but then they back into a wall, so I get the pen right back into them. We're up to 2,800 damage. Unfortunately, we lost our AE Phase 1. Yes, you heard that correct. We had an AE Phase 1 on our team. Oh, there goes another one of our teammates. It's now a 3 versus 5. We have the Brask on our flank here. We get a nice pen into the Brask. This is not good. Brask bounces me. I'm going to move up, and we're going to see if we can take this player out of the game. We're up to 3,200 damage now. Let's push the Barask, and boom, easy 310 damage shell, taking that player out. But it doesn't matter. I mean, this team, it doesn't matter what I do at this point. This game is cooked. We're going to aim it on the Hall of the 50 TP. We get a nice pen, 3,825 damage. But now we have the Hawk 12, and that vehicle has really good DPM. And I also don't even have the opportunity to hit them right now, so we got to move up a little bit. There you go, another nice shot, 344. But, I mean, at this point, it's cooked. I'm just going to ram the 50 TP so we can get a little bit of extra damage. 150. I'll take it. 4,319 damage dealt. That's the one downside of vehicles like this. While you may have really, really good turret armor, you have really good flexibility, and even great damage output, you don't have the DPM to effectively rip into the enemy, right? I mean, sure, you might say, oh, but Droodles, you did 4,300. I did. That's a lot of damage. But that was throughout an entire battle, and it was a 3-minute, 30-second game. That was a fairly long game for me to pick up that damage, right? DPM-wise, this tank's pretty average at 2,000. So because of that, especially when you're placed in a tier 9 game, you just don't make a big enough impact to sometimes, you know, make the game's result into a victory. I still think that this is one of the most overpowered tier 8s in the game, but it's not OP in a game-breaking sense, right? There are vehicles that are overpowered because they absolutely ruin your fun, and then there's vehicles that are overpowered because of the mechanics they feature. The T-77 is a great example of a vehicle that's overpowered because it features crazy damage output, right? This tank does not have that. This tank has crazy gun depression and holding potential, which allows you to influence games more, and it allows you to just deal with what is placed in front of you. But the moment you get into a team that really sucks, it's not going to matter what you do. So you can let me know in the comments what you guys think about this vehicle, but this thing is an absolute blast, and I've had a lot of fun playing in it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!